to AstroEnergy with astrologer angel Shelley Overton. Hello and welcome to the February 13th, 2018 edition of the AstroEnergy Astrology Show. My name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida, and I am excited to be here with you today. So we are having a fairly lovely day in Orlando. It looks like it might be building to some rain, and it shows there is rain. It's about 73 right now and getting more humid, sadly. The humidity season is now upon us. I think our winter, quote unquote winter, lasted about 2 months from the end of December until now. And now it's getting back warm again. So anyway, I'm excited to be here with you today. And we are going to be talking about the planets. And today's show, I wanted to talk about the new moon in Aquarius, because the new moon, it's a pretty significant moon in my world, and I think in the world as a whole, because it is in the sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius rules humanitarianism, it rules the masses, it rules unions, it rules astrology, it rules those who are kind of eccentric, science, STEM, so much, honestly. It's just anything that involves electricity or the masses or overriding weather patterns, things like that. It's very electrical. It is quantum. Quantum meaning it is not linear, and linear meaning it doesn't happen like on a timeline, and it doesn't happen logically. It happens in multi-dimensions. And so it is about information that comes at us from multiple sources, like a radio tower would absorb the different channels that are being broadcast. So when you have strong Aquarius energy in your particular chart, you can feel like you're bouncing off the roof sometimes with what information is coming to you. And I'm going to tell you a little bit. I've got Uranus, which is the ruler for Aquarius, really close to my sun. I've got it in Virgo in a cluster of planets with Mercury, Pluto, and the sun in my particular chart. And it falls in the house that Aquarius rules, which is the 11th house. And so you could call that a really strong Aquarian influence. So the other side is I also have Aquarius ruling the 4th house of home and family in my chart. And I also have Saturn in that house at 0 degrees Pisces, but by progression, my Saturn is at around 27, 28 degrees Aquarius. That's where the moon's hit. So yesterday, I was really strongly feeling this energy. So just to give you an insight as to what's going on today, I just did a net chart, which means this is what's going on at this very moment in Orlando. And we have a Taurus rising, and that puts Aquarius at 0 degrees at the midheaven right now. And the moon just now, 0 degrees and 24 minutes, went into Aquarius. So within the last half hour, and I'll even look here to give you the exact time on my lovely handy-dandy ephemeris at 10:11. So it says it's 0 degrees and 24 minutes, and it's been about 40 minutes. So that tells you that 20 minutes of moon time is actually it takes 2 minutes for the moon to go 1 minute of time, according to Earth time. So that's an approximation. But anyway, the moon is at 0 degrees now, so it just went into Aquarius. We've got the South Node at 14 Aquarius, Mercury at 21 Aquarius, Sun at 4 Aquarius, and Venus just went into Pisces this week. We have Neptune at 13 Pisces. Uranus is at 25 Aries, in conjunct to a 22-degree Jupiter in Scorpio. We have Mars at 11 Sagittarius, Saturn 6 Capricorn, and Pluto at 20 Capricorn. So right now we have 3 planets and the South Node planets. The moon and the sun are not planets, but they're called lights. So we have one planet, two lights in the south node, all in Aquarius, and it means that the sun, if you look at, well, don't look at the sun directly, but if you were to glance at the sun quickly, that's also where Mercury is in the sky. So Mercury is within 3 degrees of the sun. So yesterday, I was feeling this energy really strongly because basically Mercury is moving into what they call combust. And combust just means that the sun overshadows or overlights whatever planet is there in the sky by it. And of course, Venus is very close to the sun now too. She's only about 7 degrees away from the sun. She was combust not long ago, but within, I think, the last 2 weeks. I'd have to do research to tell you exactly, but I'm not going to do that right now. But I will tell you, yesterday my sense was that something very significant is going to happen, and we have a 22-degree Jupiter squaring 21 Mercury and 24 Sun. So just Mercury squaring Jupiter alone would tell me something significant is going to happen in this world. And honestly, in these shows when I say this, like I remember last time I said, oh, there could be an accident or something. It was like, as I was speaking within the timeline of the show, something was happening. And I think it was some kind of airplane crash, but I don't remember exactly. Anyway, why I say that is because Jupiter is an energy of transformation. And so when you have Jupiter, which can be transformative even for the physicality of human existence, so transformation, transmute energy from living into the next realm, and it's squaring Mercury, which is in Aquarius. So Mercury alone is, the best word is mercurial. It goes here, it pulls in information. It's a smaller vibration of the Aquarian energy, but it has the same kind of, from a linear perspective, same fickle quality. So it goes here, it goes there. It draws from many sources, so you cannot necessarily pin it down. When Mercury is influenced strongly by other planets, by the moon, by squares or negative aspects, it will act erratically and can also create what we call accidents. So it brings in situations that were unexpected. Having a square to Jupiter, this is an energy that is transformative. It is connected to deep emotional events. It is also, I have to say, let me see, where's Pisces? Mars is at 11, Sagittarius, which also directly squares Neptune at 13. So I'm not even getting all information from the first aspect, and then there's the second. So the first aspect, Mercury, squares Jupiter. So that right there in Aquarius, which is the masses, this is a very large event. And it is an electrical event. It can be a fire event. With Scorpio, there's a Pluto influence. So we're looking also to Pluto being in Capricorn. So it can be a building. It could be a structure. It's an unexpected large-scale event around fire, around air, or electricity. So those are the influences of Mercury in Aquarius squaring Jupiter in Scorpio. It could also be, believe it or not, an underwater event, something that could have to do with oil because of the connection of Scorpio and the hidden. And this is something that could include lava, include earthquake. I mean, basically, you're including just about every one of the elements. But the common theme that I'm saying here is it's unexpected, it's large scale, and there's probably going to be fire or heat, and there's going to be the air influence, which of course is all of the Aquarian planets, and specifically Mercury. Now, just that part of the aspect. Then you have Mercury within 3 degrees of the sun, and Mercury moves a little bit faster than the sun in our sky. So Mercury will be joining with the sun. I'm just looking it up here. I didn't have that particular aspect. Let me see. Okay, so they join up at 7:27 a.m. Saturday. So that is the day of combust, quote unquote combust. So building to the end of the week, we have another large-scale event that is going to be affect masses of people. And just to illustrate this, I want to let you know, I was looking, there's a couple different news stories that stood out to me, but one of them was 2 nights ago, there was an explosion in Puerto Rico of, I believe it was a transformer. So there was a transformer fire and an explosion. So now Puerto Rico, the working electricity has been diminished again because of this explosion at this transformer, which I'm probably having on my Scorpio in my chart, suspicious, of course, of everything. And an explosion around electricity in Puerto Rico is suspicious always to me. But, well, not always, but this specific circumstance. So anyway, that's a type of event that would illustrate what I'm talking about. Also, I found an interesting story here on BBC that Bitcoin energy use in Iceland is set to overtake the use of electricity or energy for homes. So if you're not real familiar with this, I'm talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, which is what Bitcoin is for a while. But because Aquarius and specifically the ruler Uranus going into Taurus in May this year, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are going to be very much the thing as we get closer and closer to that new energy. Now, Uranus will be going back into Aries throughout this year, but it will go in for good at the end of the year into Taurus. And so we're going to see this energy keep increasing. Bitcoin is kind of a thing. And what is Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin uses computer servers to, quote, mine the coin. So each, quote, unquote, coin is basically a line of code that is generated by computers. And it takes X amount of time, and it's not a quick thing because it's a very, very large quantity of code to be generated. So dedicated servers or computers will generate this coin over time. And each one that goes out into the web, that becomes a coin, and it's got code attached to it. It has a kind of like a birthday, the time that it's been released. It's got all this information embedded in it, including who has it, where it goes from there. So it's trackable. So when you're using electricity, you have to power the computers that are generating this coin. And in Iceland, this story says that Iceland is actually apparently one of the hotbeds of generating Bitcoin. The use to generate them is actually overtaking the amount of electricity used to power the houses, which is pretty amazing. And quite honestly, I think it's only going to continue to grow from there. And interestingly, just an aside, I think that the fact that the currency that I do really believe, not necessarily just Bitcoin, but all different types. There's one called Litecoin. There's one called Ethereum. Many different types of cryptocurrencies will be going out there into use. So as that continues to increase with Uranus going into Taurus, energy is going to be even more of an issue. And so we're going to see that rise up as something that maybe even has to be addressed, that we're not able to generate as much energy in traditional means. So we're going to start to see probably more alternative energy sources being the norm as we try and keep up with demand in that. So anyway, yesterday for me it was pretty intense because I could feel this. I got a migraine, and a lot of times when planets go into Aquarius, for me, it affects me with a migraine, and probably partly because my Uranian connection is in conjunct to Aquarius proper. So I have a negative aspect to my Uranus whenever the planets go into Aquarius. And it is such an intense, bright energy. And when I say bright, I mean this energy, Aquarian energy, is what is going to propel us into a whole new way of living. It is what powers technology. It's what powers invention. It is honestly going to power what will power understanding and cognizance to the next level. So that means we're going to really expand our awareness of what things are, what they're about, and how they work. And it is a sign of genius. And as Uranus goes through the signs, especially, honestly, as it gets closer to Gemini, which is about 8 years away, Gemini, Uranian Gemini, is going to be off the hook for. I'm sorry if you hear the motorcycles going by. This is life in the country. Yeah, I just had a bunch of three-wheel motorcycles go by, and anyway, so it's going to really bring us to a new awareness level of the true nature of life on Earth. And it's going to bring us together as a people, as a collective, because that's the nature of Aquarius / Uranus. And anyway, I just wanted to touch on this because this is really intense energy. So, moving forward, we see the new moon in Aquarius. So the new moon there's a cycle of new and, well, waxing and waning, new, full, quarter, waxing, quarter, waning. This new moon, again, is going to be at 27 Aquarius. So it's the end of one technological story and the beginning of a new one. The moon at a beginning degree is about planting and starting something. But the dichotomy with this particular aspect is the moon is, like I said, traditionally about growing things. But at the end degrees, it's like in conflict with growing because it's at the end of a cycle. And it's an Aquarius, which is an air energy. And quite honestly, air tends to clear out the old, clear out the emotional, clear out the unwanted and the sentimental. So when you have the moon at the end of an Aquarius cycle, at the end of E, but the beginning of a new cycle, that air energy, I'm just afraid is going to be the beginning of kind of a drought energy on some level, that it's going to be, and that's not necessarily for good, but Aquarius energy is air energy. And so it clears the air. It means that there's less water coming in. And yes, we have Neptune in Pisces, so there is water, but it's like it's being pulled in one way and pulled from in another. So there are places that are oversaturated and places that are undersaturated. It is an extreme cycle. Having Mars in Sagittarius is definitely about extremes, and Mars wearing Neptune, extreme water cycles. And there is a heat element to it. So it is about usage because Mars is about use. Mars is about drive and action. In Sagittarius, it's connectedness. The Mars in Sagittarius and Jupiter in Scorpio is a connectedness to foreign affairs and foreign cultures. And it's also about learning and growth. So having Mars in Sagittarius trying to learn but not understanding water going to be part of the story of the new moon because Mars is going to be in Sagittarius for this new moon. So it is today it's going to be positive to the south node. Later on in today, it's going to actually be, Mars will be in positive aspect to the moon. During the new moon, it'll be past connection to Mars, but it will be in square to Jupiter. So that's going to create this heat I think it's going to be probably a type of drought energy coming in for the summer. And then Mars for at least the next month is going to increase fires. So I wouldn't be surprised also if there's multiple events. I'm going to just say right now, there are going to be multiple events because the moon is in Aquarius. The unexpected will happen, and it will be on multiple fronts, and it will affect large quantities of people. Does that happen every day? Yes, but this is a significant occurrence. This is something that will be in the public eye and will affect people on a very large scale. So, it's like power outages, definitely Mercury coming up on the sun. There's going to be intensified energy around electricity and electronics. So that could be the energy of electronics devices just not being able to handle the surge of energy. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean a battery going out. It just might mean that so many impulses are coming through that it kind of freezes up. Okay. And anyway, so throwing that out there. You know what? It's been a while since I've actually taken calls earlier than the bottom of the hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick break here, and then I'm going to take more calls today and give people more time to ask questions, which is something I'm sure they like and I would like to do. So anyway, let's take a break. I like that song. That was a Kevin MacLeod song. Kind of cute. Anyway, my name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida, and welcome back. You are listening to the AstroEnergy Astrology Show on Blog Talk Radio, and you can get me for a private reading at astrologerangel.com. You can get me on Facebook. There's a Book Now button on the Astrologer Angel page on Facebook, and I am also on Instagram, which I love being on. I'm on it on and off all day long, so if you want to connect to me there, there's also an Astrologer Angel page there. So anyway, let's get to some calls here, and we'll see what we have. 202, hi, how are you?
Hey, Shelley, it's Kay. How are you?
Hi, Kay. Good to talk to you. What's going on in your world these days?
Oh, my God, that buzz you were talking about, I've had it for the past couple of days, and I literally can't get anything done. It's so frustrating.
That's the same way. Yeah, it's definitely like, you know, I felt it's weird. It's like your life goes along a certain way, but there's almost like this off. I want to say like a double vision feeling. Yeah, it's like if you put your hands next to each other and then turned them slightly. It's like not synced. I don't know how else to explain it. Yeah, it's really weird, and it gave me a headache, and I got nothing
the
done
only way I'll feel
yesterday.
comfortable is if I'm just kind of moved through kind of like a nut, like a mad scientist, but I can't do that right now. I have to sit at my desk and do some things, and I know it's complicated, but what I find, the craziest thing, okay, so I'm just discovering asteroids. And holy cannoli, Shelley, I looked at asteroids. I looked at my mother's chart. I looked at ex-lovers' charts.
Wow.
I feel like I've been given insight into a lot of past life relationship karma. Holy
Interesting.
crap. Yes.
Wow.
So I don't know. I was just curious if you could tell me based on some of those asteroids that I have, like Lilith, and just your opinion too of which ones are important in relationship. And also I've been reading about what is the one, Nessus and Dej something, DEJ something.
I can tell you're probably much more aware of some of those asteroids than I am. I do kind of the closer asteroids, like Sirius, and Juno is a moon of Jupiter, and that can also be an indicator of relationships. But I do Chiron. I do much more Chiron, and I know a little bit about the others. Honestly, I haven't gotten much into the asteroids as a general rule.
It may blow your mind. When
really?
I started checking out the Lilith and it's one called Nessus, Nessus, and it's basically an indication of there's one that's an indication of you have to kind of be mean to someone, and then there's one where you're a victim if someone conjuncts those points. And the degrees I saw coming up in some of the relationships I had, it's oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, I know Vesta can be really restrictive. So I'm looking at the chart now, and honestly, in the program I have, the asteroids are Sirius, Vesta, Chiron, and Pallas, Athena. So those are the ones that I've pretty much stayed with. Yeah, and the reason that I haven't is because I can see so much other stuff. I mean, yes, they're indicators, but there's so much you can learn in astrology, and it's honestly, as it is, my readings run long, and so I don't tend to get off into the asteroids too, because I have so much information just from the planets themselves. But yes, I agree. There is a ton of not only
Pallas, so I think it's on my sun, and it makes so much sense because it explains the whole femininity, difficulty kind of expressing femininity, and maybe feeling comfortable in a group of. I'm always the single girl in a group of guy friends, and very comfortable with it. So
at least you have friends, right? That's good.
Yeah. But I guess you could just check out my chart and tell me what you see. Maybe with the upcoming eclipse, I'm looking to put out some social stuff, and I'm thinking maybe that day would be good for Thursday. Or anything else you see is good.
Okay. So you're looking at what? I missed what you said.
Social stuff, promotions, film promotions.
Oh,
stuff
social
like that.
promotions. Okay, yeah. So definitely, if you're looking to initiate anything, obviously, like I said, do it then, because with the moon right now whacking until it hits that 27 degrees, it's going to kind of fall flat. And the irony, and this is something that I have difficulty with. Yes, the new moon means conjunct the sun, but I'm trying to see here. I don't see any planets. Yeah, I mean, the closest planet is Venus at 25, and they'll be at 27. So you're not going to have the major. I mean, basically, it's void. Let me just see when it's void or the conjunction, real quick here.
Okay, and it doesn't have to be.
I don't know if there is a real quick. Pardon me?
I said it doesn't necessarily have to be this week, but I was listening to some other podcast, and they were saying about, and I was wondering all about the waning moon, with the eclipse, where people are well, if you have anything to do it on the 15th to start something new, but it's also closing something out. So I wasn't quite sure.
So it literally goes void, of course, right after that until, so it's 4:05 p.m. Eastern that you have the new moon, and then it goes void until 6:19 p.m. So it's only about 2 hours, but it does change signs right after that. And I would say wait until the moon. Actually, the moon enters Pisces at 9:42,
And there's one aspect right there. I'm just trying to say this. Oh, Venus. I'm sorry. My mind wasn't computing. Venus in Pisces sextile Saturn in Capricorn, which is really good energy. But and because those are so close to a sextile, I'd honestly, personally, just wait till the moon goes into Pisces, and then you'll have that same close sextile of Venus to Saturn. It won't be exact, but it'll be pretty damn close. So that would be a better energy in my opinion. And then right after the moon goes into Pisces, it joins up with Venus. And so that, and then Friday, which is the 16th, is the Lunar New Year. So happy Year of the Dog.
Happy Year of the Dog. Hopefully it'll be calmer and kinder. I hope it's a golden retriever.
Aw, yeah. But for you and your chart, so that's going to all fall, your house of money is what's being affected. And right now you have moon there, but the Mercury conjunction to the sun is also going to be pretty potent for you. That is, I just said it earlier. What the heck? When did I say that? Mercury, Sun. Where did it go? Darn it. It's actually squaring Jupiter today at 5:39 Eastern. I don't see where the heck.
That's why I feel all like nutty.
It can also be that. But that, honestly, if you're trying to get stuff done, that square is really going to affect you because you are so scattered with the sun, moon, and Mars Mars squaring the Neptunian Pisces energy, because Pisces wants to just chill. So Neptune is just like, no, take it easy. And Mars is like, but I gotta go. And you're like basically getting your feet in quicksand. It's like, that's what that square is. So, honestly for you, because also your approaching film career is Pisces ruled, that's going to really help you because right now you have Venus and Neptune in Pisces, and then you're going to have the sun, you'll have Mercury there, you'll have the moon. So, the end of the month is going to be better for you, or even next week, honestly, will be better as the sun moves in. Yeah, because the sun goes into Pisces, I want to say around the 20th. Let me just see real quick here. Is that,
I think it is.
Where'd it go?
Or somewhere
the 19th? Well, I'm looking. I can't find it. Darn it. Maybe it's even earlier than that. Oh, it's the 18th. What do you know? I mean, I'm not used to planets going in on the 18th. But yeah, it's the 18th.
No, me either. I think I heard that. I was like, 18th.
I know. Isn't that early?
That's
makes me wonder when Easter is, because Easter tends to float, of course. So I'm thinking it's going to be early, but maybe it'll be late. There's so many. Oh, and Jupiter goes retrograde in March too. Oh, okay. Stop looking ahead. For you, definitely 3 days from now with the moon in Pisces is going to be more. Is that the area you're looking to do more in, like with the energy? Is your filmmaking stuff?
Well, I would, I have to put energy into a few things. So one, like for my day job, right, which is where I'm here now and trying to do things and literally too scattered to like accomplish anything. But the film stuff, absolutely, I'm going to, that's my side hustle, and I'm putting out, because it's about Black yogis, so I'm putting out like a kind of like just something so that everybody knows it's Black History Month kind of thing.
That's
To
lovely.
get it out there. Yeah.
Aw. Very cool. Well, I can tell you Mars hits your Neptune. I think we talked about this before. It hits your Neptune on the 4th and 5th of March. And that's going to be really big because not only does it hit Neptune, which is your dreams coming true, it also it's taking action. It's in your first house. So right now it's in your 12th house. So not only is Mars squaring Pisces, the ruler of the 12th house, but your Mars is in that house. So
it's kind of I could be asleep right now.
Yeah, and let's see,
very vivid dreams.
Exactly. It'll get out of there though come the 21st. So, on the 21st of February, then Mars will be in your first house, and it's your natal Neptune right after. But so for that 2 weeks, you'll also feel Neptune, but it's different because your Neptune's in Sagittarius, which means you ideally would like to keep going, be active, doing things. So when you have Mars, the king of doing things in Sagittarius, which Sagittarius itself is a big go sign, And then Neptune can make you feel dreamy, but your Neptune's in Sag in the first house, so there's a lot of infusion of energy. So you are not necessarily one of those who will sit still idealistically. You're going to be on the go. Right. So enjoy this right now, because in like a week and a half, you'll just like, I don't have time for everything. So it's going to take off. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's coming. I mean, we've talked before, but all those dreams are coming. I mean, Mars on your Neptune, and then following, of course, you've got that Jupiter going into late Scorpio. For this year, it's in the Aquarius house, which is good for you because it means that the ideas are popping. You're aware of things much more. Jupiter's going to retrograde, and when Jupiter retrogrades in March, I think I said it was March. Yeah, it's March 8th. You're gonna feel more practical about some things, and you're gonna start to, like, it won't be as just gloss over some of the emotional things. You're gonna really have to address some things that may feel split between mind and heart. Okay, and that's also related to your job and to what you want to do. So just keep in mind that that's coming this spring. That there's going to be probably a split between where you felt you were going and what you have to do for the time being. And I would encourage you that it is just a temporary setback, or like what you have to do is you are probably going to have to decide what you want to do. Like your heart may be part here and part there, but it is going to be, you're going to feel it more. But because it's Jupiter, it will act more like Saturn, but it is still very capable of being more cut and dry, and so is Scorpio. Scorpio, while it's very deeply emotional, once it recognizes how things are, like it basically, how do I explain this? It's in the depths. It's, wherever Jupiter and Scorpio is, can be in the depth, but it will also be very mercenary to let things go when that Scorpio energy recognizes that it isn't in your best interest, or it isn't how you thought it was going to be. You can very much cut and run, and that energy will be there. So it's a decision-making time is what I'm saying. So you will have that decision over, like, from April through July. It'll be about like really seeing more clear-cut the emotional strings and holdbacks per se, and probably people, and I'm guessing because I know you're working with people, and Scorpio is a sign of partnership, there will be probably some things that come out that make you go, well, is this something I can handle in this partnership or in this situation? And it may also have to deal with the job you're in. So, there's like the transitionary energy coming in, and Jupiter is going to be hitting Uranus late in the year for you, and that's a major shift energy for you, because not only is it Jupiter going into your 12th house, it's hitting a major planet, and that major planet represents change. So, when Jupiter hits Uranus for you, and I'm just going to look at that real quick and see when that is for you. If it is even the end of this year. I think it is. It's going to be October. Yeah, October 2533. Be right around the 18th of October. You're going to have Jupiter Uranus in your chart. And so you'll be feeling that going into October. You're feeling it.
Oh, my God. Is it going to feel like this? Jupiter on Uranus. That sounds crazy.
No, it's going to feel, definitely there will be elements of that erratic nature, but it's probably going to be more subliminal, and not subliminal. It could be subliminal. Covert is really the word I wanted.
Ideas and things like that.
It's going to be ideas, but I honestly want to say there's going to be something associated with the whole Halloween vibe for you, because you have Scorpio in the 12th, and Jupiter expands wherever it's at. So when Jupiter hits Uranus, Uranus is understanding and new ideas popping, and Jupiter expands it in your 12th. You're going to have it's like a channeled energy. And so you're really going to be, it'll be dreams, it'll be channeled, it'll be awareness, cognizance, and it's going to be ideas and inventions, or how do I say, imagination. Your imagination is going to come up with a lot of things that might be geared more towards a dark side of things. So like you could go, I want to do something really moody with this shot, you know? It'll be like that kind of stuff. Like you're going to really express through that moody quality of Scorpio, but it's going to be very
so I can get into the depths of the emotions.
Yeah,
it's a good time to get into the darker side.
Yeah, that
good
purpose behind it is going to be really much clearer for you. Okay? So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's very subtle. There's a lot of subtle stuff going on with Scorpio and Pisces, but at the same time, it's clarifying. Am I loving it?
Any love in there?
Any love in there? Oh, okay.
Or less?
Yes, there's a ton of love coming in, and love comes. Your love energy is May, and it's unexpected because that's Uranus in your 5th house. Uranus transiting in your 5th house, and yeah, that's where that's going to hit. So let me just see. 29. It's going to be going back and forth. So what happens is you have Venus at 28. Aries at the last degree of your house of home and family. So there's kind of a dynamic that we look for in relationships, in love, that you want to connect to. When Uranus, which is approaching that, and we'll go over it in April, when you have that, it's like you're breaking free of that old story around love and how you're independent. No, I can't have love because I have to be connected to the family. And quite honestly, I just got chills with this. Venus in Aries is the little kid. Your chart says, you have wrapped your idea of love around the dynamic of yourself in the family as a little kid. So it's like now you're maturing and you want to go out and be your own person. And Uranus is saying, I got to get out of this. I don't want to be seen in that family dynamic as a little kid. I want to go out and be the mature adult. And so I've got chills all over me for this. I'm not even kidding you. It was on my arms and now it's all up and down my spine, my legs. So this is a big thing for you. You're moving out of the family dynamic and how you see love as, I don't know if you're the youngest in the family, but it's like that energy. So it's like you're always kept as the youngest. And I say that because I'm the youngest. My daughter is the youngest. And I see that dynamic. Like sometimes your parents won't let you grow up. And sometimes people, just sit there and look pretty because, you don't really understand things in the big world. That kind of energy. It's shifting for you. And Uranus going into Taurus is like, pardon my language, like, screw that. I'm moving on to the next dynamic. The only exception is when Uranus retrogrades back into the last degrees, which is November 7th of this year. And it retrogrades through the beginning of next year, which I also have here. So I'll tell you that. It gets out. Okay, so it goes direct, and then it gets back into March 6th of next year. Uranus will be out of Aries. But at the end of the year, Uranus is back into Aries. So there's just a little wrapping up the old story around family and how you picture love. But you are shifting. You're shifting to this new energy around creativity and beauty and aesthetics and visuals and money. So it's money and love for you, but it's very creative.
Exactly what I'm focused on.
Yeah, and you're feeling it already, though. We're all feeling it because Uranus is getting so darn close to Taurus. So we're all starting to really feel that. The whole women's movement is a huge part of this dynamic that we're feeling coming in. And so that kind of tells you that we're already sensing it. It's coming. So.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely happening. I can feel it in the bones. I'm just like waiting for it, just waiting. But I know it's coming. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, Shelley. And thank you for you've just been like counseling me through this for months. So I really appreciate it.
No, I enjoy speaking with you. So anyway.
Me too. We get
ever want a full reading? Let me know. Yeah. Okay. Take care, Kay.
Have a good one.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Okay, let's let the computer catch up to me. Okay, and we'll take another call. 918. Hi, 918. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
Hi, who's this? I'm good.
This is Penny.
Penny, let me see. Have you called before?
I have not. Well, I've called in. I've just never gotten through.
Oh, wonderful. Well, today's your day. Today's your lucky day. So let's get your information here, and we'll see what we have with your chart.
Okay. 8/27/1964.
Okay. Wow.
1:50 a.m.
150?
Yeah, 1:50 a.m. in the morning.
Okay. And where?
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Tulsa. Okay. Okay, I'll tell you what I've told others, and you may have heard this if you've listened for a while. I was born the same year, only a couple weeks after you, so we have very similar charts.
Yes, and I always laugh when you start talking about certain things. I just think you're much more artistic than I am.
Aw. Well, you actually have a really strong empathetic nature, which is it's expressed in your 8th house. Your Saturn in Pisces falls in your 8th house, which is, the legal side of things, and much more see, mine's in the home and family. Yours is in the helper. The 8th house is about death and rebirth and psychology and law, legalities, things like that. So what do you do for a living?
I'm an accountant, but I missed my calling. I should have been a psychologist.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So, but not necessarily, honestly. The thing is, the 8th and the 2nd house are both houses of money. The 2nd house is the house of money for self, and the 8th is money combined with your partner or joint finances. So it can also be that. So the fact that you're doing finances for other people, accounting actually does work with that particular dynamic in your chart. You also have Jupiter and Taurus in the house of money from career. So Taurus rules money and accounting. So I don't think you completely missed your calling. And you have Mars in Cancer. This is so funny because my mom, she has a Saturn in Taurus, and she's like the money person. She watches all the financial channels. She does the money for the family, like money's her thing. And she's a Cancer, and you have a Cancer rising. You have Mars in Cancer. You have Saturn. Venus and Mars were conjunct on your birthday, so they're both at 18 degrees, and you have a 13-degree Cancer rising. So money is very significant for you with the chart the way it's set up. So definitely my chart has issues. Yours isn't. But what were you about to say?
I said that makes perfect sense because I always say, do anything, just don't mess with my money.
Yeah, because Cancer is about security, and it can express through money because money is security in our society. So having that Cancer rising with Venus and Mars right there on, literally 5 degrees into your first house, it is very important. And the other thing is having, which I find really interesting, Venus and Mars, usually you're trying to find your Venus, like in a partner, you're looking for love, or like the sex drive is Mars, and then the feminine is Venus, and men are Mars. So when they're separated in a chart, you're looking to complete yourself by finding someone who resonates to the energy of, whatever gender you're interested in. So I'll assume you like men, so men would be, that energy, but you have Venus and Mars together, and not just together, but at the exact same degree. They're right on top of each other. So, and it's in your first house, so it means that you really nurture yourself, and you kind of complete the story within yourself. So you're not necessarily looking outside of yourself for another person to complete you. And kind of to drive that home, you have all of the cluster of Virgo stellium that I have, but that falls in your 3rd house, and that's kind of the manifestation of the relationships. Virgo is very self-driven and self-motivated and likes their alone time. So that energy in your chart may seem to be that you are appreciative of more alone time and don't necessarily look to have all those same male-female roles fulfilled through another partner. Is that a story that you've noticed?
Yes, absolutely. That is all spot on. And I had looked at your stellium as well because I knew that ours must be kind of similar. And so I had looked at yours too the last week when you gave your birthday.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, so your chart just kind of rotated, and I got my Venus up there in Leo, but Venus and Mars and the Moon are probably the only differences, other than the house placement. The rest is very similar. And you have, let me think. I take it back. I have Mercury, Uranus, Pluto, Sun, and you have Sun, Uranus, Pluto, Mercury. So it kind of switched a little bit in those 2 weeks. So yeah, the Sun and Mercury are the ones that kind of like shifted. So they are very similar, not exact, but very similar energies. Cancer rising, that's a little bit more, I mean, we both have water ascendants, which is interesting. And let me think. I have Leo on the midheaven. You have Pisces on the midheaven. So your career, but you have Moon in Aries, which is really great because your Moon in Aries is driven to be successful in career, and you're not as shy to just put yourself out there. And a lot of my chart is hidden. It's down in the lower half. The emotional side is down, and the Saturn is in my house of family. So I'm a little more hidden, where you're out in the spotlight, and you can actually take advantage of that midheaven with your Moon and the Jupiter up there. So, that really helps your career. And then Uranus going through your house of career now as well has really helped you to become much more autonomous and driven towards doing your own thing. So do you work for yourself?
No, I work for a nonprofit.
Oh, okay. Wow. So that would be the Uranian influence, which is humanitarianism and doing things kind of on you said a nonprofit?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Uranian energy, and especially Sun next to Uranus in your chart is very much what I do. I have to do from an altruistic standpoint. So there has to be some connection to that humanitarian or social working kind of influence. And that's where it's coming out for you. It's like, your life basically manifested exactly what your chart said coming in. So, yeah, but you could end up working for yourself with the Uranus shift into Taurus, because that goes into your house, the Aquarius house. Right now it's in the structured house. So it is about having the freedom within the structure. But when it goes into the Aquarius house, you're going to really want to be your own boss.
Okay.
Yeah, and especially because Uranus is in Taurus, that's the sign of money. Now, I'm not saying it'll happen instantaneously, but you will feel the pull. Again, we're having Uranus go back into Aries, which will go back into your house of career and the 10th house at the end of the year. So there will be like that time at the end of the year where, I mean, I'm not sure if you're going to make an exact break, but I think that there will be, I really like what I see is you getting more clients on your own. And then maybe at the end of the year, you'll have that last gasp with the old company until March of next year. And then when Uranus goes back into Taurus for good, it's like, okay, now I'm done and I'm here and I have my own career of my own. And honestly, having a Cancer rising with Mars in the first house, that's a really strong energy of wanting to be in the home environment a good deal of the time. And so that may influence you to want to work out of your house. Not that you have to, but definitely having that Cancer is like, I just want to be at home all cozy. And, it helps you if you work out of the home, you can just go to work in your pajamas. Not that I ever do. I don't.
Right.
I usually work in my workout clothes, actually. But, yeah, do you have a question?
Oh, I was just wondering about the upcoming eclipse.
Okay. So, yeah. So you also, by progression, because we have pretty much the same Saturn and you're the same age. So by progression, your Saturn is really close to the eclipse. And again, it's like that influence of Uranus and Aquarius, and it's in the house of joint finances. So really, I think that this moon is going to be like, if you haven't already felt that Uranus in your house of career, I think this moon is definitely going to trigger something with your career where you're wanting to do something more on your own. And Yeah, because your natal Saturn is at the end degrees of the house of joint finances. So what it's doing is it's triggering the end of the story around joint finances. So it might even bring in a new endeavor where you may decide to transition into something that's more retail based. Have you considered doing anything like crafty or, like an Etsy shop or something retail?
No,
online or
not really.
whatever?
No, I'm a tiny bit artistic that way, but
Okay.
no, not
Well,
really.
Jupiter is wanting you to be much more creative. Jupiter just transited over your Neptune in the house of creativity and children and romance. And so it's going to be going back over your Neptune this year. It goes to 13 degrees and your Neptune is at 15 Scorpio. So you're going to get a hit again. It already triggered it once. And that could also mean there's something coming in from foreign culture or far away. Again, it's Jupiter, so it's travel, it's education, it's something foreign to you. And so, that's going to be coming in also. And let me see. Yeah, Mars just got into your house of work. And so you're going to be, let me say this, you've got Mars and Vesta. Everyone has this right now. Mars and Vesta are right next to each other. So there could be somebody in your work environment that's being a little bit of a pickle to you and not terribly appreciative of your behavior. Do you have, and a woman probably, do you have somebody like that?
I really don't. I work with an amazing group of people.
Aww, that's
and
wonderful.
I'm the glue that holds us together. So I really don't experience that.
Okay, that's good. That's good. The other side of it could be that it's an energy around health issues or trying to shore up it, because Vesta, if you think Vesta is a container, it's something that the Vestal virgins retain the information. So there's something regarding the information, maintenance of the information. So being that you're a bookkeeper, or not bookkeeper, an accountant, then there could be something going on with how that information is stored, or it may be some difficult situation that you're having to cope with or deal with around the storage of information, because that's also Vesta. Okay?
Okay. Yeah,
anyway.
I did just have a small health thing where I had outpatient surgery.
Okay, yeah. So Mars for the next month will be activating that house for you, and watch out for leg issues, because that's the area of the body Sagittarius rules. And you also have a south node in Sagittarius. So, just be careful going around curbs and stairs and getting out of cars and, anything with the legs and the feet, because, again, Mars squaring Pisces. Pisces is feet, Sagittarius is legs. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. So the eclipse is just, it's triggering your house of joint finances and also commitment to someone or a partnership. It's commitments. It's wanting independence on some level. And I think that the independence story is just starting for you, and you're going to start feeling it over the course of this year as it ramps up more and more. Okay?
Okay. All
right. Well, thanks for calling. I'm glad you got through this time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's take 863. Hi, 863. How are you?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
You're on.
Hi?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, I'm on. Hi, my name is Beth. How are you doing? I've been listening to you for quite some time, and I've never gotten through either.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so you said Beth, B-E-T-H, Beth?
That's it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. Give me your birthday. I'm at the end of the show, but I'll give you a few minutes of my time here because you're a new caller. So, give me your birth information.
Okay. It's 9/26/66.
Okay.
At 8:30 in the evening.
Okay, and where were you born?
Plant City, Florida.
Okay, I know it well. I went to high school in Brandon. Yeah. Okay. So you said 9/26/66 or 8/26?
That's correct. 9/26 September.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, good. Let me just save this real quick so I can find you again if you call back. What can I do for you today?
Okay. Well, I'm going to kind of go into a real quick personal excerpt of. I've had 2 really tough years of real emotional pain and trauma as I've had betrayal in my marriage.
Okay.
And I do not know what lies ahead. I just have been repeatedly lied to and finding the lies over and over. And for me, I can't take it anymore. And I'm looking to see if you see anything to help me move forward.
Okay. Yeah, let me look at it real quick here and see. And let me just take a second to kind of process some different things here. 29. Okay. So you've got Vesta in your house of commitment, and Vesta and then Mars and Saturn. Everything that's going through your 8th house of commitment with the marriage is what you've been dealing with. And you've had Saturn there for 2.5 years. So what Saturn does is says, okay, now it's time to own what's going on in that situation. And unfortunately, Saturn, in having Capricorn in that house, can also mean that you take responsibility for things that are not you. So I want to first off encourage you that I know you understand that you were betrayed, but probably on some level you've been feeling like if I were this or that, or somehow I should have done this or that. I mean, it's an irrational thing. I want to encourage you to let that go, and I think we'll be letting that go pretty soon because Saturn will be moving out of that house. And that also means that whatever's going on with that particular, like, is a divorce? Is that what you're doing, divorcing?
I have not been in the divorce yet because the person he's been involved with for this time, he keeps telling me it's over and he doesn't want her, he wants me.
Right.
But I have, on a Friday, I found another line of phone calls that he is continuing to lie. And for me, I can't continue. I'm not saying I don't even want to deal with the aspects of divorce right now, but I do know that for me internally, I cannot deal with it. So.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you, the next couple of years, probably you will still have some issues going on but I will tell you, this is to your benefit, okay? It may be very painful right now, but you've got Jupiter on your Neptune, and Jupiter is the energy of Sagittarius. It is the ruler of Sagittarius. Sagittarius for you is in the house of commitment, and that is a difficult place because Sagittarius can be a philanderer. They don't tend to want to stick around for one thing. They like to go and keep moving and find things in other places. So, I mean, I apologize to any Sagittarius who is very good with commitment, but generally Sagittarius is very happy-go-lucky and not really good with commitment, and they can have other people in their lives. So the ruler of that sign is just now in your house of marriage. So it expands all the information you've been getting. It's in Scorpio, so that's going to come out. It is the same entity that brought out the Harvey Weinstein stuff. It's all that. And for you, it's in your marriage house. So that's part of the trigger. Jupiter on your Neptune, it's fortunate to find this out because Neptune is your ideal partner. You really have to trust your partner. It's just a given. Neptune in Scorpio, someone who has to be able to have trust in the marriage situation. Jupiter is expanding your awareness of that, and that's also why this came out in your life. Next year, Jupiter's going to be there. You're going to have some of, going back over, again, like I said earlier in the show, Jupiter retrograde is more like a Saturn, so it's like really shoring up the information that came through and getting it understood. And probably when Jupiter retrogrades is going to be the heat of whatever happens, and I'm guessing you're probably going to divorce him. But Jupiter retrograde, that timeline is when it happens. And let me just look it up for you. I've got a little bit of an echo, so I don't know if you can hear that, but if I'm on speaker somewhere, if you could turn it down.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. You're not on the speaker, so I don't know what that is.
I wonder what that is. That's interesting. Okay. Anyway, let me just look real quick here. So it's going to be, April through July. It's kind of the heat of it. So that's the time when probably he's going to continue to fight to not break up. But by the time Jupiter goes direct again, I just think that the transition is on its way. That you've already said you can't deal with this, and I understand that. And Mars going into the 8th house, it's in Sagittarius, so I have a feeling you're going to find out even more information because the Mars in Sag is going into your Scorpio house, which is just even more of the same. And I want to even caution you, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, but there is a chance that he has like an addiction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
yes,
it's just going to be something that he's probably not able to do anything with unless he seeks therapy. And then Mars will go on through your 8th house, and that's going to be like, it'll be more of this information coming out and more of you deciding what you're going to do. And you've got Vesta there as well, which again is the other woman. And then Saturn goes into your 9th house, or it's going to be that's when you're going to want to be gone, because the 9th house is like, I got to get out of here, I got to move on. So that's really kind of the culmination of Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn going through that part of your chart. It's really that story. You are going to have a good future. It's coming. And Saturn moving into your 9th house, and a couple of years from now, it'll be in Aquarius, and you'll have like the pinnacle of your career. It's going to be, you're really going to be coming into your own with what you choose to do. Now, do you work outside the home or inside the home?
I have my own business. I have a cleaning service, oddly. Yeah,
awesome.
I do.
Perfect. Yeah, because Aquarius is all about cleaning and getting the old out, and also Saturn in Capricorn right now. Again, it's about to move in to the next house, which is the house of travel and expansion. And I think for your career, you're going to be learning some new skills, and you're going to really put those to use in a couple of years when Saturn goes into Aquarius. And it's honestly, I think your business is just going to get better and better. You're going to be really growing with that business. You've got, other than the fast-moving planets, everything in your chart right now is in the upper half, which is all about how you interact with other people on a larger scale. It's like career, friendships that relate to career. It is your marriage. It's interacting with other people, a life purpose, as opposed to like now we're just focusing on my relationship one-on-one with someone. Yes, there is relationship with your husband, but this is the whole sweep of this energy for your chart right now. It's a bigger picture. It's not just about me, but it's about us and the environment and the bigger scale, like your place in this world. And Neptune is coming up. It's now in your house of money from career, but it's going over your Saturn in the next 10 years, so it's only getting closer and closer to that energy. So it's really trying to wake you up to your deepest life purpose. And this man he's part of it, but he's like a trigger for you to go into the new phase, if you understand that. Does that make sense to you?
I don't know right offhand what that actually means. I am so, confused right now. Sure. Anyway, I'm probably a little bit, muddled in my brain, but taken
off guard. Yeah. You have a lot of Pisces in your chart. You have Moon in Pisces and you have Saturn in Pisces. So and Venus is on your Moon right now, and that means that it's expanding that connectedness to spirit and guidance through intuition. So it's kind of up in your thoughts right now, but the energy coming in, especially the new moon, is going to really give you a lot more clarity and help you understand more around your career and where you can focus your energy into your career and maybe do something more for that, or maybe even expand the creative side of your life and maybe take a little less
with the thought side of your life, because you have, again, being born in 66, you have Venus, Uranus, and Pluto in Virgo, and that can be really self-effacing and, critical of yourself. I want you to be more embracing of your gifts, and you are very intuitive and you're psychic, and, I would go more into learning about that side of yourself, maybe meditate or seek out more influences from expanding your psychic awareness, because that's really part of your story right now.
Okay. This is kind of odd because I've recently, maybe over the past 6 months, really started coming into that, because there have just been signs I couldn't ignore,
Awesome.
and I've begun to listen to them, and so.
Good.
So your thoughts are, I'm just not going to be able to continue through this, that it will take too much of a toll on me, and somewhere between April and July is when this is going to come to a head, and I've got to go.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. I mean, Jupiter through your house of marriage and partnership is going to shift and transition that whole area of your life. But I want to emphasize, Jupiter's on your Neptune. This is a positive thing for you, and it may not feel it, but it actually is. This is helping you make your dreams come true, and that may also include someone who treats you the way you truly want to be treated, or it could be a partner in business. It could be many different things, but you have Neptune and Scorpio in the house of partnership and marriage. So this transition is it's attacked your sense of trust, and it's giving you the awareness that you need to have that level of trust, or you can't be with that person. And so that can in the future encourage you, and you have Saturn in positive aspect to Neptune. So I do see that there's a strong potential for a new partner who will give you the kind of relationship you always wanted that maybe didn't really get in this one. But I'm not necessarily encouraging divorce, but I see that there are so many influences right now that I think you know what you want in your heart, and that's probably it looks in your chart like it's going to play out over the course of this year. Okay?
Okay. I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome. Okay, thanks for the call. I'm glad you got through.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
You.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, that's the end of the show this week, but please do call in next week because we're going to have more time to talk, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com. To subscribe, please click the picture of Shelley on the right or the red button below.